Welcome to Today in Prophecy Daily News in 15 minutes or less. News with the Bible as perspective. Well, coming out of Texas, lab-grown meat banned in Texas as of September 1st. Some believe the ban on lab-grown meat violates people's constitutional rights. As of September 1, 2025, the sale of lab-grown meat has been banned in Texas for 2 years as part of Senate Bill 261. The law states that a person may not manufacture, process, possess, distribute, offer for sale, or sell cultured protein. Although its production and use were not widespread in the state, some believe its ban violates people's constitutional rights, impacting what consumers can and can't purchase. Friends, this really ought to be a you can't make this up one. I mean, this is sick. Seriously, people are upset. This ban violates my rights. I want to be able to eat really bad stuff that's grown in a lab somewhere by Bill Gates. That makes sense to you? It kind of shows that really there's politics involved in this, doesn't it? There's something very fishy to say going on here. You hear about lab-grown salmon. Texas says we don't want the lab-grown meat here. I mean, you look at this and people are complaining about that. I want the fake stuff. I mean, it's just saying all these people who got to eat organic are suddenly saying, give me the lab-grown stuff. I mean, literally, this should be a you can't make this up story. Nevertheless, it's real. Now, I wanted you to think about that, all right? This is the world that we live in. Check out this next story. The power of God. Putin, Xi, and Kim in most blood-curdling hot mic moment ever as despots discuss replacing organs to achieve immortality. This is the bizarre moment when Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un were caught on the hot mic, discussing immortality going on. It says the broadcast featured the three despots discussing how biotechnology could result in humans living up to 150 years. Putin says even then speculates that repeated organ transplants could let us perhaps even achieve immortality. Okay, so I want you to think of this. We're talking about eating lab-grown meat, and some people saying this violates my rights if I'm not allowed to eat that. And for all of you people who love animals, so you're saying don't slaughter the animals. What you're really saying is, well, let's get rid of all the cows because we aren't going to need cows anymore because their gas harms the climate and we're all going to die, so let's have lab-grown meat. I mean, what? So is it, do we go to like India and we start to worship cows? And then you have this where they're saying, hey, wait a minute, we can have some lab-grown biotechnology, whatever it is, organs that we can just replace the organs that we have. And in effect, we could have even figured this out, that we can live forever. Listen, people are buying into the lie that was way back at the time of the Garden of Eden, when Eve is told by the serpent, Eve, did God really say that you can't eat the fruit of the tree that's in the midst of the garden? Oh, Eve, no, here's what's really going on, Eve. God knows that when you eat of it, you will be like God. And not only that, you won't surely die. It's the same lie. Repackaged. Let's eat lab-grown meat. Let's grow organs and start to harvest those organs and put them in our bodies so that we can live forever. And then we already hear about these kind of things that are coming, have been coming for several years from, like Yuval Noah Harari and others, with technology being implanted into our brains and Neuralink, all of these different dynamics, but people are buying into the lie. They're going to. This is what happened to Eve. She bought into it. It affects all of humanity. You mean I will be like God and I will even be able to live forever? Sign me up. Let me sign up for all of these things. Friends, we live in a crazy world. Hey, I want to remind you, join us in Texas. We have our conference coming up just in a couple of weeks from now. It's going to be absolutely over the top. We have all of our different speakers in Texas. Olivier Melnick's going to be there. Eric Stackelbeck is going to be there. We begin on Friday, September 19th, I believe it is. It's Friday. Dr. Hamu Shariat's going to be there. Also at the conference is going to be, oh my goodness, I can't even think of everybody. Dr. Andy Woods is going to be there. Pete Garcia is going to be there. I'll be there. We have 4 guests from Israel that are going to be joining us via video. Chaim Mailspin, Josh Waller from the Israel guys, along with our 2 guests from the Old City. Roddy Harrell's going to be there. And we also have, coming from the Old City, Idam Pincus. And it's going to be an absolutely over-the-top conference. I encourage you, sign up for the live stream. In fact, the live stream will convert into a full permanent video package where you also get not just everything in Texas, you're also going to get the entire conference that we just had in Santa Barbara with Brandon Holthouse, Pastor Brandon Holthouse, Pastor James Cadiz, David Tal, James Panfino, and myself there. And we're also at the Shabbat dinner that we're going to have Friday night. We're going to have an off-the-cuff Q&A with the speakers that are going to be at the conference. So all of that is going to be included. It'll include 2 conferences, and just saying we want to get these in the hands of many people as we possibly can. James' message in Santa Barbara was just off the charts, incredible. But register, go for it. You're going to be totally blessed. And also, I think I may have forgotten to say, Dr. Hamu Shariat from Iran Alive is also going to be joining us in Texas. So it is going to be really good. And it's both conferences plus the Shabbat plus the 4 Israeli guests joining us via streaming is going to be really incredible. All right. So we look at this. We have these different stories going on. We've already talked about lab-grown meat. Xi Jinping, Putin say, hey, we can live forever. Let's harvest organs and plant them in our bodies. And then we have this. I mean, this just shows you the weird world that we live in, how weird things are getting. Psychologist says AI is causing never before seen types of mental disorder. I predict that in the years ahead, there will be new categories of disorders that exist because of AI. Mental health professionals are calling it AI psychosis, turning to the AI models for advice. Users soon become entranced by the psychopathic machine's human-like responses. It becomes not just a tool, but a companion, and the worst kind, constantly plying you with what you want to hear and validating anything you say, no matter how wrong or unbalanced. That leads to cases like a man who was repeatedly hospitalized after ChatGPT convinced he could bend time, or another who believed he'd discover breakthroughs in physics. Sometimes it turns horrifically tragic. Interactions with AI chatbots have allegedly led to several deaths, including the suicide of a 16-year-old boy. And actually, it goes, there's many different stories that are coming out. One person, it was AI that convinced him of certain things he was supposed to do for medical help that he needed, and apparently he took the wrong pills. And we hear all these different stories that are going on. You're looking going, what in the world is happening? Nevertheless, people's minds are going to get messed with. I'm telling you, when Satan came, the Garden of Eden, what did he do? He got into the mind of Eve. And once there, no matter what you see and no matter what you hear, your mind will convince you of whatever it is that you're being told is true if you want to believe it. I mean, look at the last 5.5 years. People just wanted to believe a particular thing. So they did. And now the facts are finally coming out. Although they were out back then, they're finally starting to come out in the public. You guys can figure out what I'm talking about. But people are saying, people who believed the lie 5.5 years ago, I'm watching many of them still doubling down, although they know, everybody knows they were deceived, they still think, oh no, you guys were deceived. I saved lives by doing the protocol that I did, and you guys were the bad people. You think you escaped everything because you didn't, whoop. You just hear these insane things that people will believe once it's inside their head, to the point where facts don't matter. And that's exactly where we are. I believe it's a tactic of the enemy to make it where facts don't matter. I mean, you look at what's going on with Hamas. They rape, they pillage, they kill, they slaughter, they mutilate, they put babies in microwave ovens, and people say Hamas is just absolutely wonderful. Facts don't matter. People have been brainwashed. Moving on, Belgium vows, this is out of All Israel News, Belgium vows to recognize Palestinian state at the UN this month, announces harsh sanctions against Israel. Foreign minister vows to ban Israeli products, ministers, and violent settlers. Belgium intends to recognize a Palestinian state. He also revealed that Belgium intends to impose harsh sanctions, which I already mentioned. Palestine will be recognized by Belgium during the UN session, and firm sanctions are being imposed on the Israeli government. He argued that the country's decision should be seen in light of the humanitarian tragedy unfolding in Palestine, particularly in Gaza, in response to the violence perpetrated by Israel in violation of international law. I look at this and just go, this is just absolutely ironic. Again, it's the lies. People just see what they want to see and believe what they want to believe. 98% of the news that was coming out of Gaza came from Hamas themselves. Read the report just yesterday of all the different propagandists, the reporters, the people taking photos. They were Hamas operatives. That went to the mainstream media. Politicians believe it. Politicians in America believe it. Politicians all over the world believe it. They're lies. But facts don't matter. People don't want to hear facts. They don't want to believe facts. They prefer to believe that the Jews are killing all the people in Gaza and they're starving them to death. You present them with the facts. I don't want to see the facts. Like Greta Thunberg, right? Presented with the video to watch what really happened on October 7th. I'm not going to watch that video. Why? Because the facts tell the truth. People don't want to hear the truth because it ruins their story. They don't want their good story being ruined by the facts, ruined by the truth. Much to say, much to do. Listen, join me tomorrow for You Can't Make This Up. It's going to be a great program. And God bless you guys. And in the meantime, what do? We remember the words of the psalmist in Psalm 122, verse 6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Ultimately, that means pray for the Messiah to come, in our case, recognizing the Messiah to come back. That is when genuine peace is going to come to the land of Israel. And it's not a coincidence that all these weird things are happening. Lab-grown meat, people protesting you can't eat it in Texas. Really? They're protesting you can't have an abortion, can't eat lab-grown meat, the insane things. Then you have harvesting of lungs, harvesting of organs, you're going to live forever. Then you have AI that's totally messing with people, and they're deceived by it all at a time while the world is turning against the land of Israel. It's not a coincidence. It's a reminder that the Bible is true and that you can trust it because it warns us. Jesus came the first time to forgive us of our sins. He's coming the second time as judge. God bless.